Hello BookTube, it's time for a sequel video because I'm doing a part 2 to the Tell Me Why I'm Wrong discussion. This was started a couple of weeks ago by JJ at the Something Blacksmith. Go check out her channel. She's iconic. The Bookworm Blacksmith, she's a diva. She's incredible. But she started this conversation, and I'd done a part one, and I thought my list was so long. I'm gonna do a part two now. So, the prompt for those who didn't watch the first video is, what are some books you were wrong about, or like not on your wavelength, pretty much, or and in the comments you have to convince me why I'm wrong. And there's also one where it's like one book you want people to give a second chance. I already done like three of those books last week, so we're not going to skip that one. But I've got more books that aren't, I don't get more than, tell me why I'm wrong, pretty much. I'll move this out the way because we don't have that much of a list today. We only have, what, one, two, three, four, five books slash authors. So one less, sorry, from last week. So altogether, you've got 11 books and authors. So let's start. So probably we're going to start off very controversially, and that is tell me why I'm wrong, because I just don't get Tolkien, like literally at all. I've read The Lord of the Rings years and years and years ago. I barely got through book two, but I marched my way through obviously the final part and all that stuff. But I was sat there so bored, like literally, even like during the big scenes and all the iconic moments, and they just literally done absolutely nothing for me. I was bored, and I don't know if I just don't click with Tolkien's writing. I've read The Hobbit, and that's honestly 600,000 times better than The Lord of the Rings, in my opinion, because it's just not as ambitious and it's more niche down, and I think I like that more. But I've always heard that, some people said I'd like the Silmarillion more than The Lord of the Rings. I still want to give that a try. Maybe I'll go through Tolkien and do some of his poetry, or Beowulf, his translation of that I haven't read, or I could do a biography or something fun like that. I don't know, but I just don't get The Lord of the Rings. I feel so empty. Like when I read it, I felt nothing. It like really reminded me of Dickens, where I got that same, like, that was a book, and I put it down and never thought about it again. I don't even have an ebook of Tolkien. Like literally, that's how little I think about him. And I think when it comes to my very mixed relationship with fantasy, there's just authors I would rather read more than Tolkien. Like, give me and I know Tolkien inspired like literally every author I'm about to mention. Like, I get it, but he just doesn't click. Like, I would rather even pick up Lord Dunsany than Tolkien. And S.A. Chakraborty, I love her. Robert Bennett Jackson, he's like really good. Robin Hobb, oh my god, I think crushes Tolkien. I love her books. Even Martin, I'd pick up more. At least the first two Game of Thrones books. After that, it gets a bit boring. But I don't know. Yeah, he's never been one I've even liked. He gives me like Patrick White like vibes. It's like, why you remembered? Or I know that's controversial, but we'll move on from Tolkien to George Orwell. And I've ranked Orwell's books on my channel. I've done it with Orwell. I've done my time with Orwell pretty much. I like his nonfiction. I really do. I have all three of his nonfiction books. I have a big bind up of his essays. I go back to a lot, to be honest. His, everything when it comes to nonfiction. But my God, when we get to fiction, he is so boring and lame. It's just so one note. Everyone talks about, obviously 1984 and Animal Farm. They are just so dull to me. Orwell never, I think, trusted his readers, so everything is so on the nose. Like, it just does nothing for me. I couldn't even name you a favorite fiction book by Orwell, to be honest. I just skip his fiction. Just go to his essays and non-fiction writings and all that stuff. London Down and Out, whatever that one is, that's so much better than anything he could ever like think of when it comes to fiction. But yeah, tell me why I'm wrong about specifically the fiction of Orwell. Tell me that. Another one, again, we're hitting some big authors here. F. Scott Fitzgerald. I have The Great Gatsby, I have Tender as the Night, and I have The Beautiful and the Damned. I have those physically. And I want to get like a best of short story collection because his actual traditional short stories, like the way they were published, are very uneven, in my opinion. I have, again, done my time with F. Scott Fitzgerald. I don't really get it. I don't know if it's an American thing, but The Great Gatsby, it's fine. I know it's like, the Roaring Twenties, glitz, and, a lot of despair and all that stuff going on in the background, and the real societal, stigmas and all that stuff going on. I get what F. Scott's doing. I do think he was a really good writer. I'm saying that, but I don't get why he's on the level he's, the pedestal he's on, really. I think there's only two short stories of him, but I even go think about, and that's, Bernice Buttons Her Hair, I think that's what it's called, and The Diamond and the Ritz, or whatever that one is. Outside of those two short stories, I can't even remember the names of them properly, but outside of those two stories, his short stories don't do anything for me. I've never read an F. Scott Fitzgerald biography, so I need to get to that. And also, maybe I'll try Zelda's work. I know she published some stuff, and Nancy Mitford done a biography of her, which I could also do. But yeah, F. Scott, I kind of don't get as much. I think compared to his contemporaries like Hemingway and Faulkner and a lot of those other ones, I think F. Scott is clearly the best writer. He at least had talent. But yeah, F. Scott, I just kind of, tell me why I'm wrong about F. Scott. Like, I see it. It's kind of like, who did we talk about last time? Like Steinbeck or someone like that, where I see it, but it just does nothing for me. Or Proust or someone like that. Like, I see it, but it does nothing. We've got two more left. The next one is Sherlock Holmes. I have read all of Sherlock. I have very mixed feelings about Sherlock. I don't really like the novels outside The Hound. And really the only short story like collections I like is the adventures, the memoirs, and that's literally it. I don't know. I just feel like it gets so repetitive at a certain point, especially knowing that Conan Doyle, hated Sherlock after he brought Sherlock back to life and all that stuff. And I feel it. It feels like, especially towards the end after Sherlock comes back, it just becomes a slug at a certain point. I feel like a lot of the magic of the early short stories are just gone, really. And also, I didn't really like the early Sherlock stuff, like The Sign of Four and The Valley of Fear. Oh no, that's a later one. I can't remember all the names. But yeah, outside of like two short story collections and The Hound, I don't get Sherlock. It's there, really. I'd rather pick up Dracula from that same time period and have way more fun. But yeah, Sherlock, again, there's bits that I like, but overall, if Sherlock was like three short story collections and like two novels, that'd be honestly up there as one of my favorite series. But again, Conan had to keep it going. Probably he would have agreed with me too. But the last author we have, and we're going to go a bit more contemporary for the last one, is R.F. Kuang. I have read all of her novels. I I feel very old when I say this. I was there with the Poppy War books. I remember when a second and third volumes were released, or third books, whatever. I love them. I don't know if they would hold up as a reading though. I just really liked them at the time. I remember thinking how gruesome they were. I was like, oh my god. But the thing where Tell Me Why I'm Wrong is everything else that R.F. Kuang has wrote. I don't like Babel. I didn't like Yellowface. I didn't like the one she done last year of like the whole like Inferno retelling. I will pick up the one that she's releasing later this year. I don't know the names of them, I'm sorry. But I just don't get R.F. Kuang when it comes to her doing like literary books or even like the fantasy elements. Babel just, I don't get it. Yellowface I thought was lame. Um, I, I I don't want it to be a one series wonder for me because I liked the Poppy War, but everything else, I just don't like her writing. I find her plots to be very boring. It's just another bit of literary fiction, and I think the Poppy War was, I think at the time, such a unique series because of its setting and the fact that it wasn't set in the Western world. I thought that was really creative for its time. Compared to a lot of the other fantasy coming on the late, 2010s and all that. I just think her literary stuff just does nothing for me. And I will keep going with her because I want there to be, a post Poppy War book from Ara Kwong that I like, but it kind of hasn't happened yet. Again, we'll see. Maybe this new release that she's what will be coming out soon will be the one. But for now, RF Kwong is a bit of a letdown, and maybe some people, because I know Yellowface, people are so divided on that book. And I want to see, do some people who watch me like Yellowface and Babel and all that stuff? But yeah, RF Kong is the last one. It was like, tell me why I'm wrong because she kicked off her career so strong with the Poppy Wars, but outside of that, I've never really liked her. And I don't have much to say outside besides that. But yeah, that is part two of Tell Me Why I'm Wrong. We've hit some big authors this time. Who knows? Will there be a part three? I'm waiting for Mike to do his part two that he's talked about, and maybe I'll riff off some of that if he, gets to it. But yeah, so I'll see you in the comments, and thank you so much for watching BookTube. I'll see you next time.